And with this, we come to our wacky end. For now. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 12 of Dan to Dan Season 1, the final episode of the season. But fear not, because we have been blessed with a present for the holidays. We have learned that Season 2 of Dan to Dan is coming in the summer of 2025. That's right, we don't have to wait long at all. Season 2 is coming pretty damn quickly. And part of that makes me concerned for the people working at the studio. I'm really worried that they're going to be forced through crunch, which, is unfortunately super common with anime studios. But there is also the hopes that they've already been working on this. Maybe we'll find out. I don't know. But let's try to get hyped anyway. Yay! In all seriousness, though, yeah. So Season 2 is coming in July. That was just announced, I think, just today. Because I woke up to the news this morning. And I'm very excited for it. I'm a little worried about the crunch and possibility of, issues with that. But we'll see. I don't know how... I'm not 100% sure how Science Saru is with that. Compared to others. I know Mappa's really bad about it, but hopefully they've just been working on this for a while. But first we have to finish off this season before we can even think about getting to Season 2. So we've met Gigi. We can see that his goofy attitude is a mask that he wears to deal with all the issues in his life, his guilt over how he treated Momo when they were young, his parents getting sick and being hospitalized because of the spirit in his house. He's suffering, and he uses humor as a mask. A lot of people do. It's a very realistic thing. But he clearly shows at multiple points that he is a good person, that he is a genuinely kind, thoughtful person. And he just acts this way to cope. And I like that. And it makes me endeared to him pretty easily. So, I heard a lot of people saying anime onlys were going to find him super annoying and unlikable. It's like, not at all. I find him actually really likable. The goofiness is very clearly a mask. So, that it doesn't bother me at all. But of course I also was never angry at Ira either. Because I understood how she was going to end up, coming around as well, just because I've seen enough anime. So, to be fair, I've not been taking these characters at face value. But last episode we got to see a lot of the interactions and a lot of, Okarun's insecurities. Centering around Gigi, especially because he's really starting to come to realize that he has feelings for Momo, that he loves her. And so we see how he is extremely jealous of Gigi, especially with the fact that he was Momo's first boyfriend. But we see in the end, through these anatomical dummies, that he comes to fully realize his feelings and finds himself more determined than ever to be with her. And I think it's super cute. I think their relationship is amazingly done and super cute. And I love seeing how it's developing. But I assume this episode is going to focus on getting rid of the spirit in Gigi's house. Because we touched on that at the beginning of last episode, with that being the entire reason Gigi's staying at Seiko's for now. But we didn't actually address that last time, because it just centered around the slice of life stuff and ended with the anatomical dummies and all. So I assume we're going to get to that this episode. I'm really interested to see how this ends, though, and to see where it kind of leaves off in preparation for season 2. I have a lot of hopes with this series. This series has impressed the hell out of me, a lot more than I ever expected. So let's just see how this ends. Let's see how this closes out. And we'll talk about the replacement and everything in the afterthoughts. So let's get this going. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about all the gaming content over on the Princess of Gaming channel. We have Baldur's Gate 3 every single day, Horizon Forbidden West on Mondays and Fridays, Tuesdays and Thursdays is Life is Strange, Wednesdays and Sundays is Red Dead Redemption 2, and on Saturdays we have Nier Automata. A lot of great gaming content every day. Don't forget to click the link in the description below to follow it to today's reaction. I redirect everything just due to copyright reasons. And please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you want to see more awesome content such as this. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Well, that was uncomfortable as hell. I'm holding the dog for comfort because not a fan of Momo getting assaulted in the bath, in the hot spring. That's not okay. And considering where this series started out and everything and all, I'm not necessarily surprised. But like, geez, did the manga fans like lie about shit? Like I talked about this a couple episodes back, but the manga fans really fucking lied about the series like not really continuing to be really weird and creepy in that regard. And it's like the context of it all does matter, and it is being again portrayed as bad and wrong, and you know, like it's not being portrayed in a fan servicey way, so I appreciate that. But it unquestionably is still excessively uncomfortable. It does get hard to watch, and most of the series, to its credit, is not like that, admittedly. But it's like there's the first episode, episode 9, and now the end of this episode, and it's just like, ew. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot more about this episode and a lot of things I loved about it. I'm not like saying the entire episode was shit because of that. It's not episode 9. So let's talk about the rest of this. Gigi and Okarun are starting to bond a bit here, though they're also becoming kind of rivals for Momo at the same time. They're both showing interest in her and even admitting their interest in her to each other. But at the same time, they are also becoming genuine friends with each other through shared interest in the paranormal. And Momo is realizing this. Momo is noticing this, and that's why she went to the hot spring in the first place, in order to give them time to bond. And especially because she couldn't sense any issues. But there's very clearly fucking issues going on. I'm just so shocked that they would end off the season in the middle of an arc. Like, seriously. That's just a weird place for that to end. And mind you, we're getting season 2 pretty quickly. It's coming in July. And I almost kind of have to assume then that they were already working on season 2, like when season 1 started coming out. Because otherwise, that's just like, again, really weird placement. And we've had it confirmed that it is season 2 that's coming, not like a second core of the same season. So it's like, that's just really weird placement. Because most shows like will end at the end of an arc for each season. It's like, oh, an arc ends, next season starts the next arc. But with this, that's not what they're doing. And I feel like they only introduced the stuff with Gigi and stuff so they could have him in the opening. Because otherwise, they could have ended the arc before his introduction. They could have ended the arc with Mr. Shrimp and everything. Or technically, that was the end of the arc. I mean, I ended the season. But that would have ended a couple episodes earlier than a single core. Of course, they might have been able to stretch it out somehow, but I don't know. It just feels like weird placement. Um, it's interesting that Okarun and Gigi have found like an extra part of the house that's not supposed to be there. And on top of that, um, the spirits is not like visibly or noticeably around. Like Momo can't sense it at all. So we're gonna get into that next time. And I'm just curious about where this is going to go at this point. Again, just I keep harping on it, but just the fact that it ended on in like the middle of an arc is so fucking weird because it just feels out of place. And it's like you're leaving off in the middle of it's like stopping a book in the middle of a sentence and then finishing that sentence literally at the beginning of the next book. That would be so fucking weird, would it not? That would be so fucking weird. Like it's not even just a cliffhanger. It's just a really fucking weird place to end a season. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Um but yeah, I enjoyed seeing Taro and Hana again. I enjoyed seeing like that they're still, able to meet and see each other. Momo's helping with that. Things are going really well in that regard. And yeah, I really enjoy this series, like a lot. Despite all like complaints or whatever about certain aspects of it. I mean, it's not a perfect show by any means. Um, but despite complaints, I really do love this series. I think it's a fantastic show. I think it does a lot of great things. And honestly, I can't wait to see season two. Obviously, we're going to continue reacting to it once that comes out. But yeah, it's just, I really do love this series. I think it really stood out. I think the wackiness and the weirdness help balance out the more serious stuff that does happen. And again, I do like that when it does show creepy ass shit, it's at least shown to be creepy ass shit. And it's not like painted as fan service or like something you're supposed to enjoy as a viewer. You're actively supposed to find it uncomfortable and gross and fucked up. And it's like that I can appreciate that. Because it's like too many shows when they do fan service, it's for fan service. It's to entice the viewers. It's because sex sells basically. And I feel like not enough shows like just showcase it for being as fucked up as it is. And so I appreciate that this show is doing it. And again, as sparingly as it is too, because it's not doing it all the time. It's like 3 episodes out of 12 now. So yeah, I think this does a good job with it. But that leads us into replacing this. So obviously we are taking a break. I've talked about this all week throughout the reactions this week. But we are taking a break starting after this Saturday. And like next week and the week after, the only things that are going to be uploaded basically until the beginning of January is the final holiday special, the Terrifier 3 reaction, which is coming up on Christmas Eve. Other than that, the next couple weeks are going to be nothing. But we will be coming back on January 2nd for a birthday stream on the gaming channel. And we will be doing on January 3rd, reactions again. We're going to start reactions on a Friday. I know, weird day to start it, but that's when I want to start it. We're gonna get back to reactions on Friday, January 3rd. We're gonna be doing Gentry Chow. We're gonna be doing Blue Eye Samurai, and the next week we go back to our normal schedule. But that means for that next week that we go back to the normal schedule. What is going to be our new Thursday show since Dan is now finished for the season? Well, there's been a couple things I've been thinking about getting back to, and I thought we should do that. We should get back to something in this slot. And I decided, let's get back to Symphogear. It's been a little bit since we reacted to the second season of that, Symphogear G. And so I want to get to GX. I want to see what Season 3 of Symphogear is like. And I've heard some interesting things about it. I've heard some people say that it's their favorite season. Like, I heard one person randomly on Twitter mention that. I was just scrolling through Twitter. But I've also been told that it's a very divisive season. Which is interesting, because that could go very much any which way, especially for me. So I'm definitely excited to see that. We will begin that, like I said, once we come back full time. The week of the Monday the 6th and on, I believe, is when we'll be coming back. So that week, that Thursday. And we'll go from there. If you want to keep up with things, I will still be active during this holiday season on the Discord. So we could talk about stuff there and everything. Or if you want to leave comments and all on videos here on the channel, I'll still see them. I can still answer them. I'm just not recording anything during these next couple weeks. But we'll be back in January, and I'm very excited to do so. So thank you so much for tuning in to these Dan reactions. If you came to the channel just for these, I hope you find something else on the channel that you can end up enjoying as well. And I hope you just had a good time. That being said, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.